thought I would make a short video. I helping my folks do some cleaning around their property, and there's this bucket, this Tupperware that's been full of water for a while, and it is absolutely chock full. I have to hold still enough. If you see some movement, you're seeing them. It's chock full of tadpoles, and tadpoles are a little difficult to tell who or you know what species they are until they start getting a little bit older. But luckily we've got some older ones in here, some ones that are developing a little bit quicker, and so you can see one swimming right there on the top. This phone has terrible zoom, but we're gonna try our best. And if you look very closely, we actually have a small individual right there. And so by looking at the color and everything, we can tell that these guys are gray tree frogs. Now, I specifically wanted to jump on making this video because a friend of mine named Lisa, and if you're watching this, Lisa, I finally made your frog video, is a huge fan of everything frog. And frogs and toads are her jam. So we're gonna make a quick video about gray tree frogs. And while I'm speaking, I'm gonna try my best to get a few shots of some of these tadpoles. And the best way to do that is their vision when they're like this is based primarily on movement. So what we're going to do is sit here and watch them for just a minute, and I'm going to try my best, see my reflection there, to get a shot that is clear. And I may post this and then turn around and post a better one later. I don't know, we're going to see. But anyway, so frogs, tree frogs specifically, are an arboreal species mostly, so meaning that they of course live in trees, arbor meaning tree, and these guys are extremely interesting. So not only do they have awesome color, as you can see this dude here, or look at this itty bitty baby. Not only do they have an awesome color, but they can actually change this color. As the evening progresses, they get lighter, and then earlier in the day, they get darker. And that actually helps control how quickly they warm up, because they're cold-blooded, so of course their body really depends on temperature. Now the tadpoles that have been laid here are all different sizes because they hatch at different times out of the eggs. The eggs are fertilized externally when the adults mate. So that means that the mother frog will lay the eggs, and then the father frog, the male frog, will fertilize them. I wish I had a better way of filming. So they're fertilized externally, and it's all dependent, like I said earlier, on temperature. So the higher the temperature, the quicker the eggs will hatch. Let's see if I can't get somebody to swim up the top. Here we go. And here we go, right there, perfect. So the ones that are closer to the surface of the water will hatch quicker, and the ones that are down lower, of course, will hatch later. And so they're all different sizes. Also, this could be multiple tree frogs hatching ground in this little bucket here. So the cool thing about these dudes is they're going to hatch and or metamorphosize, and they're going to stay close to the ground floor for a while. That small one that I was just showing, he'll stay close to the ground floor, and then as he matures, he'll start climbing further and further up trees and be more active in trees and become more arboreal. So the ones that you see closer to the ground are usually either ones that are mating, or they're younger and they've not started climbing up the trees yet. Now, they actually produce, tree frogs actually produce a very viscous liquid out of the tips of their toes that help them climb trees. And so they're actually highly adapted for climbing, but they can also climb things like, on the side of a bucket. And they're on the side of people's houses and things like that. They're extremely territorial, the males are, and so they will protect their territory when it comes to mating season. The males eat things, the adults eat things like crickets, mites, spiders, all kinds of different bugs. And then if they come across an area with different frogs, even other tree frogs, they'll eat those too. They are cannibalistic at times. These tadpoles here will eat all this junk. They eat small bugs and algae, and then any detritus, so any dead stuff that's floating in this water. So that way they can live almost anywhere that has stagnant-ish water in it. But they will eventually start popping up out of here soon. Like I said, we've got some that are turning right now, and they've got legs. And the way that'll work, of course, is we've got tadpoles with tiny little tails. Let's see, like this guy here. So he's just a tail and a head, and then they'll start. And they've got to be completely aquatic. They don't have lungs yet. They've got gills. And then as they age, they'll start growing legs, starting with their back legs. Their tail will start shortening, and they'll start growing back legs. And then around that time, they start also developing lungs. And so they'll start coming to the surface more. And they're at a time they'll have lungs and gills. And then they'll start developing front legs, and their lungs will become a lot more developed. And I'm trying to get one of these bigger ones here. And their front legs will become more developed, and they'll end up like little dude here. And they don't actually have to be a certain size. They can, due to temperature and stuff like that, they can metamorphosize as they're huge. Like there'll be a huge tadpole, sometimes they're a smaller tadpole, and they metamorphosize, and it just depends. But the rest of the tail will eventually fall off. Here we go. Come here, buddy. I tell you what, they are a doozy to catch. Come on, let my people see. Let me see, y'all. Here we go. Here's one. Oh, perfect example right here. Come here. All right, so as you can see with this little dude, he actually has legs, very tiny legs on his back end. I promise if I ever get enough people to justify it, I'm going to get a camera instead of a phone. But you can see he's got these tiny little legs right there towards the back near the tail that are starting to develop. So I'm not going to keep him out of the water very long because he doesn't have lungs yet. But those will develop and get bigger as the tail gets shorter. And then eventually, like I said, they'll get those front legs and their lungs, and they'll come out of the water. They'll stay on the ground for about 2 years until they're sexually mature, and then you'll find them more in trees other than in mating season. See if I can't catch one more good sized one. It's a task, it really is. That's a different one. Didn't quite have his legs yet, or has very small legs. I was trying to catch one that had front legs too, but I don't think so. They're a lot faster. But we can get one more view of this dude here because he's got his little toes spread out, and those toes, and as I say it, he puts them back in, but those toes actually are specially designed. Like I said, not only do they make that viscous fluid, but they also have little pads at the end of their feet, big pads that make them very good at climbing. It increases the surface area and of their feet, and therefore helps them climb. So anyway, my next few videos that I'm going to do, I've got a little bit more time on my hands nowadays, so I'm going to start uploading more videos, and they'll probably be about frogs. And if I can get a good video, I might catch a few of these guys and put them in clear jars and show you the difference before releasing them. But I think instead of dumping this thing out, I'm just going to keep it somewhere cool, because if I put it in my nearest pond, they'll become fish food, and or food for other frogs and turtles. They are a prey species at this age, and they feed lots and lots of animals, but there's plenty of other frogs being other eggs hatching and being laid at this time. So I'm not going to make the decision to put these guys here. The adult frogs picked a good place for their eggs, and so I'm not going to be the one to change that up. We're not going to interfere, and we're just going to let these guys metamorphosize out and do their thing. So, all right. Well, like I said, that's all I've got on these guys right now, and hopefully I'll be able to post a better video later with a little bit better camera quality. Hopefully we'll start making a lot of videos, and people will start subscribing and sharing and liking, and we'll be able to start making better and better videos with better quality and the same cool content about nature. So, thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.